introduced into the lexicon. We had monkeys smoking crack cocaine in the basement labs at UCLA 13 years before the word was invented, because we knew it was coming, and we wanted to make sure that we understood everything. We're working on the next ones already. Drugs that are out there now on the street that are not illegal, that people are looking at.
And again, you're at UCLA?
Yes.
Yeah. Just to let people.
That was UCLA University. Matter of fact, I want to hit it one more time so y'all can hear it in its entirety. Yeah, they're trying to waste my time. Get to this video. Play it one more again. While we got the people coming in. All right, but yeah, I'm definitely finna bring the C.I.A. Paid over $20 million to train psychics to remote view on the Soviet Union. I'm gonna play this one more again though. Hold on.
We're in touch with a lot of the underground chemists who are synthesizing new compounds, and they send a lot of them to us for testing. We don't give them any feedback, but we like to monitor what's out there in the street. And by the way, our lab was the one who discovered the crack epidemic, and we discovered crack 13 years before the word was even introduced into the lexicon. We had monkeys smoking crack cocaine in the basement labs at UCLA 13 years before the word was invented, because we knew it was coming, and we wanted to make sure that we understood everything. We're working on the next ones already. Drugs that are out there now on the street that are not illegal, that people are looking at.
And again, you're at UCLA?
Yes.
Yeah. Just to let listeners know, where you're speaking from.
Yes, I've been here for a long, long time. And I came out here from New York because it was one of the few places I could do LSD research at the time, and we were giving LSD and all kinds of marijuana and all kinds of other drugs to volunteers in the laboratory. And I wanted to move away from animal research and move into people who could give informed consent and volitionally agree to all the conditions of the experiments. And it was also an exciting time because lots of new epidemics have started here in California. The psychedelic revolution started here. The methamphetamine epidemic in 69, 70 started here. The crack epidemic in the form of cocaine-free base smoking started here in 1971. It hit New York in 1985. So we were always on the cutting edge of things, and it was an exciting place to be, and it still is.
Wow.
That was it's an exciting place to be, and still is, by his own admission. Peace to the family. Peace to all, especially my sister Yasini in the building. Peace to my brother Red Squid in the building. You know what I mean? Definitely my brother Music Land. He always touched down. Hey, you let Red Squid beat you this time, Music Land. You know what I'm saying? My boy, the number one first responder. But yeah, I appreciate you. For sure, all y'all. And I got my sister Lightbearer in the building. She's gonna be definitely joining us very, just momentarily. And let me drop the banner so we can speak on it, because it is what it is. Today, it's all about how the C.I.A. spent $20 million in those 10 years or whatever, training psychics to remote view on the Soviet Union. Yeah. So obviously it's something to it, ain't it? Or you think people I don't know. You think the government spending $20 million, without getting any results? Hold on. First off, I'm gonna have to show you what remote viewing is, of course.
Peace to you, Yasini. Thank you guys for having me today. Thank you, Dee, for having me on here.
There's a light bearer in the building. You know, like I don't know if y'all know, but y'all could get to know Sister Lightbearer. You could look up on YouTube. You know, she got more followers than me, of course, because I ain't got a whole lot. But yeah, sister, sister definitely got a good following, and I'd appreciate if everybody here go follow the sister. Matter of fact, when you get a chance, drop a link in the chat. And back to it. Oh yeah, we got everybody in here. We got the Goddess Aboriginal. Yeah, but matter of fact, I think I might have to just touch on remote viewing first. Just so nobody don't be too sleep when it come to the subject matter. Like my brother said earlier, understanding isn't even in his language's vocabulary. Like no language has the word understanding but the English language. Every other language, like let's say Spanish, what they're gonna say, comprende. You feel me? So it's all about comprehension. You feel me? Comprehending the information. So we're saying remote viewing. Remote viewing is the practice of seeking impressions about a distant or unseen target, purportedly sensing with the mind. Remote viewing experiments have historically been criticized for lack of proper controls and repeatability. Yeah. So this is clairvoyancy. The U.S. sponsored psychic. This is what it is for real, for real. So that's remote viewing. And extrasensory perception is what they're saying. ESP, extrasensory perception. I'm gonna get with it. Yeah, because the CIA recruited mind readers to spy on the Soviets in the 70s. I always got to try to bring up an article or something so y'all don't think I'm making this up. It's going to, sound far-fetched just coming out of my mouth. That's just the way we operate. But Project Stargate. This is where you get Stargate. So obviously it's pretty much you're the star. Your mind is that star, is that light power that you can open up gates. Project Stargate operated between 1972 and 1995 and attempted to offer, in the words of one congressman, a hell of a cheap radar system. During the tense period of the Cold War, the U.S. government sought to deploy a potent weapon against the Soviet Union. What was that? That potent new weapon? It was called mind reading. Yeah, in a highly classified project. So basically, they were reading minds from so far away that they could see what was going on by reading the mind of one of the ones that was there. So it's like a weak, person in your circle will hurt you. That weak mind could be penetrated. Like I'm the type I've always seen where it might be a group of people, and I can tell, how the leader feels about me by analyzing one of his weaklings. Because not only are they, weak in other physical characteristics, they're weak mentally. So they're going to be the giveaway. They can't hide their emotions. They can't hide what the person told them before they walked over here. Yeah, so that's reading body language and stuff in my book. But they are able to mind read, countries away. I'm not even gonna say miles away, beyond miles. Bodies of water, oceans away. And a highly classified project conducted first in a Californian research lab in the 70s and later at an army base in Maryland. Let me see something. Make sure I'm okay. Yep. The CIA, Army, and Defense Intelligence Agency recruited men and women claiming to have powers of extra sensory perception, ESP, to help uncover military and domestic intelligence secrets. In 2017, the CIA declassified some 12 million pages of records, revealing previously unknown details about the program, which would eventually become known as Project Stargate. By the time the program was shut down in 1995, psychics known as remote viewers had taken part in a wide array of operations, from locating hostages kidnapped by Islamic terrorist groups to tracing the paths of fugitive criminals within the United States. The roots of Project Stargate go back to 1972, when a classified report made waves within the U.S. military and intelligence communities by claiming that the Soviet Union was pouring money into research involving ESP and psychokinesis, the ability to move objects with the mind for espionage purposes. In response, the CIA began funding its own top secret research, headquartered at the Stanford Research Institute in Menlo Park, California.
Can I chime in a little bit?
For sure. And you could pick up some of this reading too. Ain't much,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah, it's we know what all of that is about. It's about us, Black people, because we have all those abilities. We're psychokinetic. We have, like I told you, we have psychic abilities. We all do. Believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, it just comes with our genetics. We have a higher power people, a higher energy level, so we have a higher abilities. But when the earth is the earth is coming out back to where we can be functional in those areas again. So of course they're going to do this. Of course they did this in the past to us, and they always make like, oh, they're doing it to another European country or something. But all of this studies, they're all doing the studies, not just, one country, but all of them are interested in this, So we know who their number one enemy is. You know what I'm saying? So we have these abilities.
Yep.
So this is why they're so interested in tapping into it, because they know that our abilities is what's going to be their destruction. And it's coming.
That's for real. And got me want to pull up an image of the Matrix, so to speak. Because when you think of the Matrix, it seemed like that could have been that $20 million psychic program to a degree. Watch this.
Definitely.
Excuse me, what you say?
Oh, I was just agreeing. I said definitely.
Matter of fact, you wanna read that for me real quick?
Okay. Late that year, the research team at SRI invited Yuri Geller, an ex-Israeli paratrooper who had become internationally famous for his psychic powers, to Menlo Park for testing. Though Geller was best known for his alleged ability to bend metal, cutlery, and his mind, the CIA was much more interested in another of his professed skills, the ability to read other people's minds and even control their minds with his own. Okay. As Annie Jacobson writes in her book, Phenomena: The Secret History of the U.S. Government's Investigations into Extrasensory Perception and Psychokinesis. The declassified documents show that CIA analysts wanted to probe Geller's abilities in the area of mind projection and its possible use for national security purposes. According to Jacobson, Geller played a key role in setting into motion the U.S. government's investigation into ESP and psychokinesis. The winter of 1975, she writes, Geller even took part in a series of classified psychokinesis tests at a lab in Livermore, California, where scientists were developing advanced nuclear warheads, laser systems, and other emerging weapons technologies. If that was the case, why couldn't they find bin Laden? Why did they have to go through all the trouble? Why couldn't they?
Maybe that turban, blocks people from mind control.
Exactly.
Like I might need a turban, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back them up.
Mhm.
You know.
They may have some power, but it's on this level. You know what I'm saying? It's on this low level. It's not to the high level like we have it. We're attached to the universe, so we feel more. We
Yeah,
feel
you don't
more.
have to. Yeah, you don't have to train us as much
Right.
as as them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like dancing. They have to be trained. They have to train to learn how to do dance moves.
Yeah, 1, 2
But
step,
we just
2
create
step. Yeah,
dance moves. We're gonna create that.
exactly.
You know. Yeah. So our oracles and such. They kind of basically made what you want to call a science out of our natural abilities. So they would document it and detail it in a book. They micromanage stuff. And then now they got us learning their way. Like we learn from
Definitely,
management.
definitely that.
Yeah.
That's part of their psychosis.
You know. So remote viewing. Do you think so things like this is possible, or you say no? Yes or no? Just to clarify for the people.
Evidently not, because look, what do they have to do? They have to actually send people in. If they have remote reviewing, why would they have to send in somebody to the the Black Panthers back in the 60s? Why would they have to send somebody in there, send people in there to perpetrate like they're a Black Panther and they're really a spy? Why would they have to, you know, like the police system is not even up to date. It's pretty much a more like after the fact, and you're like, what's the use of having police in the community when they don't really, what do they do but harass people that don't look like them half the time? But it's like if they had that's that much power, they would have more than what we see, and more would be done, and they wouldn't have to send in agents and spies, and you know what I'm saying? Physically.
Mhm.
So that's probably their system. That's probably the remote viewing system is having, white people in our communities and spying on us, seeing what we're doing, how we living, and you know, I was looking at you remember the lady in black, the black lady that would walk from state to state, city to city.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Every news picked up on her. How do you think they got that? Because white people everywhere were keeping an eye out because they thought she was a threat. all over the United States. Just from her wearing black and walking state to state and being a black woman. But white people got the word out and they went and investigated her, meddling with her, somebody freely walking down the street. It just shows you how much of a threat we are. So, and there was no remote viewing in that. It was just word of mouth and some power, having the power to go to the media and each media in each state and in each city picking it up because white people were concerned. You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah, that's
did.
my
You
apology.
did.
That's my apologies. I was muted.
Yeah, you
But
didn't
yeah,
see none of us. You didn't see none of us out here word of mouth. Hey, this there's a black lady
see,
with black clothes walking city to city, state to state. What's going on here? Who is she? What's she doing? You know.
see, this is what I equated to. You know, that program that they had going on, you know, like I say, it's like the Matrix. You know? And then who do you have? You have the gifted Oracle right here. You know, you have her, and you also have the gifted Morpheus, you know, which is actually the god of dreams, you know, in another culture. So what I'm saying is, you know, obviously that's an oracle of sorts in a male way. You know, he's a shaman or whatever you want to say. You know, he's a great, you know what I mean? And so is she, right? So this is the $20 million program. It's all about training him, you know. It's not to say that there could be many of them. It's, if anything, it's more Agent Smiths than there is Neos, because Neo is just an anagram for the word one, you know. So it's not like there's going to be 1 million of him, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
got it.
it took these greats to train him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that was the $20
Exactly.
million program of sorts, you know, just to be able to have one of
Exactly.
him, just to have one of him, you know, it took
Hmm.
them.
Exactly. And then come and find out that Agent Smith was an aspect of him, of himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like saying both of y'all is Caucasians. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Here they go.
Hmm. Fighting himself.
Yeah. You come
And then
for me. Hey, so it's
we
like
have to
saying Neo.
become
It's like
one.
saying it's like saying Neo, I am your father. You know?
Hmm. Hmm. They have to be, ended up becoming one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's what they needed to do. Yeah. See,
Yeah. So, you know, it's wild if you ask me, of course, but
or
it,
in a way, psychologically accepting self for what you where you are, not living in a lie and not accepting self, but accepting self for who you are. Like you said, he couldn't accept himself, but his self was right there in his face. And he had to accept and become one with his true self.
mm,
Hmm.
like that analogy for sure.
Hmm. Because a lot of them are in denial of who they really are and what they really are. It's a battle. And I like the political aspect of the blue pill and the red pill. Either you sleep or you awake. You either got it, either want it straight with no filters, or you want it fake. You want fakery. You want to deal with the fakery, which is the blue, the Democrats, or you want to deal with the Republicans who are going to give it to you straight with no chasers, you know.
And now when you look at that, like when you look at that image of the oracle that they chose to use, which is a beautiful mother, but it's almost like they did it to spite Sophia Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Because she kind of looks, she kind of favors her.
She does.
Yeah. So it's like they did that to spite her. It's like, ha 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 ha.
No, I don't see it that way. I see they brought her story to life, to the truth.
I mean, it didn't benefit her really.
It's almost like the Bible. You know, our people wrote it, right? But then it's coded, but only people can see is those who think with the left brain and who think like the white man thinks. Because he then brainwashed them to see what he sees in the Bible, not the science of ourselves within the Bible.
I mean, when you say logic, like you can't even, that would be wrong to even dare give that to them. You
No,
can't
no,
give,
no, no, no. I'm not. No,
no,
we
I'm
know
saying, I'm
that.
saying,
We
I'm
know
saying to
that.
say that even if they think with both sides of their brain, they can't think like we can. I
No,
can't. You
no,
see
no,
what I'm
no.
saying?
They're stuck in only one portion of the brain. They're literally stuck in one portion of the brain. So that's what I'm saying. So when they give us the Bible interpretation, it's going to be physical people walking around warring and doing all this good and evil, a devil and a Satan and a God and it's all going to be color based. But we know the truth of the Bible. We know the truth of the matrix. So when they stole whatever they stole from our people, whenever they steal it and they manipulate it, they don't realize they enhanced it. They only enhanced it. They didn't hurt it. They didn't harm it. You see, they only put it out there and it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's a message, a good message for those who can see, hear, you know, who are open to that knowledge.
You know, I'm gonna let you argue with Google just a little bit, just a little bit. Just to let you, I don't know. I just want to see how quick you is on your toes. You see what Google had to say?
Of course, you expect that. Who is the deciding power over not most of the knowledge?
It's just like I say, we,
You
like
gotta
even if you say
always
great,
you gotta always think the opposite of what they put out or what they say. That's how I move. I don't think that anything they say.
so you agree when they say like if like if a man were to say women don't use logic, are you saying women don't use logic?
A man can't say a woman doesn't
No, I'm
use
asking you. I'm asking you. Are you saying because you said that they are only logical thinkers? You know, they're the right brain.
No. That's what we call logic, right? But is it really logic?
I mean,
That's what
logic is logos, meaning like science.
basically we they are studiers. They do study us and they study our science. And they do study those things, but the way they regurgitate or the way they interpret things is when they intake it, the mind is not functional to that level where they can be a strong logical left brain. You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
They're,
okay. So
I
it's
told
never
you
what you do, but
earlier.
how you do it.
I told you earlier they're irrational and they're illogical. Because
Yeah,
who
yeah. That's
on
why I
the
kind of
earth
took it. You know,
would look for something to destroy the world like nuclear bombs? Who would take a weapon and want to kill? You know, who would do people the way we were done? You know, who treat animals and cage them up and then try to genetically make them uh, pets that you can control and they can't survive on their own in the wild? Who does that?
for real.
You see, that doesn't mean when you say that they're just stuck in the left brain. And that's not a good place to be because you got to know what the left brain is. The left brain is everything. If you look at the world, it's everything that they made it. It's a lower level. But when you can use both parts, which is the animal side of the brain, right? When you can use both, then you're moving at a higher level. You're coming out of that animal mind of what I was talking about earlier on the video. And, that's all that is. And we, as Black people, have that. We have both capabilities to use both. We're not stuck, but they tried to make us stuck through influences. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. By making us worldly. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Are you manipulated? Are you your true self? Or have you been manipulated from your true self? Walking your true path. You see what I'm saying? Knowing, half of it is the lack of knowledge of ourselves. When you don't know yourself, you're willing to do anything out here because you think that this is real, and it's not.
Yeah, I guess y'all still calling it the Psi Force. Maybe want to look that up right quick. Boom, boom, boom. What do you say? Hold on. Love and the Self and the Psi Factor and Positive Psi Power and Communication, Chapter 3. Let me see what Chapter 3 look like. Times are changing. All it. But yeah, I know you heard of like the Vril Society. You ever heard of the Vril?
Mm-hmm.
VRIL, like
Yeah.
those mediums that work for Hitler.
Yeah.
Those women, all of them had that long hair, like it. You remember it from what was that? The Adams Family.
Yes.
Yeah, had all that hair. That's pretty much how
Mhm.
they look. If they wanted to cover their face with the hair,
And
because their hair never.
he had minions too.
Of course, yeah. I'm talking
Minions.
about real minion, like the little thing we see on the cartoon, whatever that is.
I don't know
Yeah,
what they look like. I thought they
yeah.
were little children.
With that helmet on, with like
Mhm.
one little circle to look out the front of.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I need to did you do a video on that one?
No, I ain't never did that. I can show
No.
you an image though.
Yeah.
Let me show you. What we say, minions. They might not want me to say Hitler. I'm gonna say Germany. Yeah, is it? Huh?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. That looks like children, and he put the Hamlet.
Now you'll never know. You'll never know.
Because
That's the
guess
point.
what? Guess what? Hitler knew about the ancients and the third eye and all that. Didn't you know that? He knew
Man,
all of that
he knew
information.
them people probably had black plague. He was like, "You filthy beast."
He
I mean,
also
excuse my
knew
language. I'm not making the judgment, but this is what it seemed like his outcome. Because same thing with the U.S. right now. In the rest of the world, they got us throwing these masks on. That's next right there. That is the next step.
exactly. He knew about. He took our sign, the swastika from North Africa, and all that information. He knew all that information. That's how he knew about our Hebrew. He said he knew that the Jews were really black. That's why he was. That's why he went on a rampage, because they really didn't like black people. They were really, and the same reason they didn't like us, they haven't liked us since they've been on earth, is the same reason, is because of who we are. And if they hid who we are, then a lot of us will falter and become what they want us to become, lower level beings, but we're really high level beings. And that's why self-knowledge is of
Yeah, the
importance.
best knowledge. Yeah, that's the best knowledge.
Yeah.
You see what I say?
Oh, I see that. The the thing on Adam's Family.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like these
Like
people are
it.
powerful. These people ain't. These people is powerful. I ain't gonna lie to
Mhm.
you. His power in the hair.
Yeah.
Like I have long hair myself.
But their hair is dead. It's dead
I
fur,
mean,
animal
look,
hair.
look. You can't say that when somebody got black hair. Like
They
you
don't
just
have black hair.
who doesn't?
They don't have afro hair like
No,
ours.
no. It's about the melanin.
No,
That's
not
what
necessarily.
it's
I
about.
don't. I
It's
don't.
all about the melanin. Because when we dealing with
It's
melanin,
but they got a different
no,
melanin
no,
than us.
not when they have black hair. Watch
No,
this.
that's a different
I'm gonna
melanin.
show you. I'm gonna show you.
It's
It's only two
still,
melanins. It's only
yes,
two. Yes.
we're selenium and they are sulfur. They're animal fur,
I'm
animal hair.
gonna show you. We're not talking about yeah, like you're talking about the follicles and all of that stuff. Like
You're
I'm trying to
talking
say,
about color, and it doesn't matter
yeah,
what color
oh
their
yeah,
hair is.
yeah, because that's what kind of melanin it has. That's the whole point
They
about it.
don't have the same kind we have at all.
No, they don't have to have the same texture. We talking about the melanin,
No, no,
the melanin
they still don't, even their color pigment, it's not the same melanin.
is
It's not
melanin.
the
Yes, it's
same,
you
it's
melanin.
not
It's not
the
pheo.
same
It's not pheo
chemical
melanin. It's
balance.
not pheo melanin.
It's
It's
not the
not.
same chemical at all.
I'm gonna show you. But it is. It's called you melanin. That's the only kind of melanin that we have.
Right.
It's only two melanin. It's you melanin and pheo melanin.
Yeah, they're phenolmelanin.
Pheo, but nah, not
Yeah.
people with black hair. No, nobody
Yes,
with black
they
hair.
are. Yes, they
No,
are.
no.
The color doesn't make a difference. It's their makeup. The color doesn't make a difference. It's their makeup.
Look, hair color is determined by the amount of pigment called melanin in hair. An abundance of one type of melanin called eumelanin gives people black or brown hair. What does that? Eumelanin. Pheomelanin cannot give you black hair or brown hair. It's just, facts. What hair color has the most melanin? all human hair has some amount of both
Let
pigments.
me see,
Over
because I
95% of
read
melanin in
something.
black and brown is eumelanin.
I
So
read something that pheomelanin was.
look,
It had a variation.
pheomelanin is generally found in elevated concentrations in blonde and red hair.
Right,
Represent about one
red,
third. Yeah, pheomelanin.
red.
Yeah.
Okay, but still,
It's just like saying if you got brown eyes, that's eumelanin. There's no way around it. They could think they all white or whatever, but guess what? They got some melanin. They got some real melanin. They got a real ancestor somewhere in them. You know what I mean? And that might be why they have a little skill like a Justin Bieber or something like, oh, he can actually sing. Or this one actually can dance. And that one could play football. And yeah, pay attention. You know what I mean? He might got some melanin. Yeah. Yasini said, she sound just like me. Because, she would have been going off about him too. She was like, they ain't got no goddamn melanin.
they don't. I still don't.
I
I
mean,
still refuse to believe that because its hair smells funky as anything when it's
no,
brown.
one with black hair, that's like mostly a Spanish person or something. So they're not necessarily gonna be, this you're not gonna find
But
nobody
the
in
whole thing
England with
is
black hair.
once you turn back to Caucasian, you're Caucasian. I don't care how much you try to say they may have a little.
They
It's
all
a
a part of the
whole
mulatto
different.
race.
It's a whole different biological chemical breakdown at that point, and it's usually not right. It's usually not very imbalanced. So I wouldn't even go there. It's not a balance. It's an imbalance. The same imbalance they try to create within us as a people who are supposed to be naturally balanced, but we have to find our way back to our balance because we were manipulated out from our balance. It's not like we're naturally imbalanced. We're not made naturally imbalanced. We are supposed to be balanced.
I'm showing you there's power that can be tapped in. We know that this connects you with the astral world. This is how you tap into the Akashic records. Ain't no bald head person doing this. I promise you. I love my bald head people. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Man, put it like this. If they bald anywhere near bald and they have these skills, they running away from their true skills. That's why they are cutting the hair off. They scared of it. They thought they could cut it off. They can't cut it off. You know what I mean? That's why they trying to run away from it. Because if they still have them skills, they're a very powerful person. But for the most part, everybody else need antennas.
But her skills, their skills will be on a low level. Will be on this level. On this level, it can't go no higher.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you gotta have that uromelanin
Like
balance.
everything the U.S. did, like as far as trying to create a remote viewing group of psychics and stuff, like they just taking a page out of, the Soviet Union's book, out of Hitler's book, so to speak, because they know that these people gave him inside information.
And
that
Hitler was
nobody could find.
well studied in our sciences. Well
I mean,
studied.
even before him,
Mhm.
Joseph Stalin, when they first came out with certain aircrafts and weaponry or whatever, they admitted that the world was amazed by the technology, but it was like, we must admit that this technology is not of new, but is of ancient. And he was saying that, they basically studied this by studying Egypt.
The world wouldn't be what it is today unless they studied our ancient, because our ancients were way beyond this time.
I mean, somebody was a custodian of the information, and they still have some inside info.
Well, the Moors came over and gave them majority of it.
I mean, saying Moors just means you're saying black people. Yeah, it
No,
ain't no.
I'm
No,
saying
there
the
is no
Moors
little clique
time.
that y'all can call Moors.
I'm saying the priests, the high priests, the ones who were
That were black.
Right. The men who were high priests went over and did all that,
And
information
don't you
download.
think, like, it don't even take to be our greats didn't go over there and do nothing. It took average Negroes to go over there. It wasn't no high priest. If anything,
I'm
it
not
was
saying no,
some
no,
low priests.
they were under the high priest. They were
I
under
mean, it
a
was
high priest
anybody. Little small fries.
because
You
their
know,
high priest, when their high priest passed
that's just
away,
like if we
because when
would have give people on YouTube, like, the people with all them 100,000 subscribers, that's like acting like they some kind of high priest because they got that many followers.
well, when their high
When
priest,
we can hear that they are idiots.
when their Kemetic high priest passed away, that's when they fell. That's when they were conquered and fell after that.
Yeah. But believe me, it's power in the hair. It's just like saying it's power in the blood. I mean, it's like saying, there's power in a muscle. I mean, everything, is what it is.
I know one thing. When I was younger, I grew up in a Caucasian neighborhood. And the little girl next door, I would mess with her hair. And my hands rubbing through her hair was brown. But I would change her hair to a reddish brown color with just me touching her hair.
Hey, goddamn, here go Red Squid fucking with me. Goddamn, yes, because he has a little bit of melanin man in him or woman, huh? Yes, he can sing. That's it. That's the only reason. You know what I mean?
That may not even be the reason. He doesn't. I mean,
So why
why would you say
why can anybody sing or dance?
Why does he have to have melanin in him? Why does he have
be-
to have us in him to?
Because he got him.
You just admit earlier that 1-2 step, 1-2 step, and he admired Michael Jackson and and a lot of other people. So
That kid can't dance now. I don't
No,
care how
but
much.
I
You
mean,
teach him, he can't dance.
what I'm saying is he picked up all of that. That's not hard to.
You can't pick that up.
They're good copiers. They're good at copying.
You can't pick up no gift in the world. It's like saying how people in sports, we say you cannot teach speed. You can't teach a person to be fast.
I don't think he's that talented. I don't know where you get that from.
You can't teach a person to be fast.
But I don't think he's that talented.
What do you mean that talented? No,
I don't.
I just say he could sing.
I don't think so. Yeah, you got to know what.
I don't even be knowing who the people be until I like the music before I know who the person is.
Yeah,
I never listen to a song because of who it is.
We've been trained to think we're listening to talent. That's part of that, manipulation. We think we're listening to music. We're listening to a lower vibration of sounds, but it's not anything of where we can say we're connected to it. Are you muted again?
Oh yeah, that's my bad. I'm always
you keep muting yourself.
Yeah, but I was saying that I was just gonna drop the link in case anybody want to come chop it up with it before we get out of here. Yeah, my brother Red Squid know I was giving him a hard time. He already know, because he got mad at me because I'm telling him they haven't been bathing, until we conquered Europe. And a lot of people are mad at us because we taught them how to bathe. And one of them is like Barra and a host of others. They are mad at them anymore that had anything to do with teaching people how to bathe.
No, I didn't. Why am I mad at my ancestors for going over there and teaching somebody how to do anything?
All right, I'm just making sure.
No, I never said that. I actually talk about the Moors a lot.
I see lately, I ain't gonna lie, because most of your master teachers are Moors. That's why.
And my master teachers is not
see
Moors.
Freeman L. I see you, Dr. Aleem, and Bobby Hemmett is a Moor too, if y'all don't know it or not.
But we're all
Moors, if we understand that, yeah.
We're all. I'm my great grandfather. What about the molecules in our bodies? Who we are? We make up of all our ancients. So no one can take that away from us. Unfortunately, even if they try.
Hey, Sis Yasini, I think you're gonna enjoy this outro because make it so bad. I'm gonna make the outro the same as the intro, just because it's so nice. I gotta hear it twice, but no, it's not even music. It's not even music. It's just that good old truth. You know how people can't handle the truth.
We're in touch with a lot of the underground chemists who are synthesizing new compounds, and they send a lot of them to us for testing. We don't give them any feedback, but we like to monitor what's out there in the street. And by the way, our lab was the one who discovered the crack epidemic, and we discovered crack 13 years before the word was even introduced into the lexicon. We had monkeys smoking crack cocaine in the basement labs at UCLA 13 years before the word was invented, because we knew it was coming, and we wanted to make sure that we understood everything. We're working on the next ones already. Drugs that are out there now on the street that are not illegal, that people are looking at.
And again, you're at UCLA?
Yes.
Yeah. Just to let listeners know, where you're speaking from.
Yes, I've been here for a long, long time. And I came out here from New York because it was one of the few places I could do LSD research at the time, and we were giving LSD and all kinds of marijuana and all kinds of other drugs to volunteers in the laboratory. And I wanted to move away from animal research and move into people who could give informed consent and volitionally agree to all the conditions of the experiments. And it was also an exciting time because lots of new epidemics have started here in California. The psychedelic revolution started here. The methamphetamine epidemic in 69, 70 started here. The crack epidemic in the form of cocaine-free base smoking started here in 1971. It hit New York in 1985. So we were always on the cutting edge of things, and it was an exciting place to be, and it still is.